All right, let's talk about a huge shift happening in the tech world, pretty much right under our noses. There's this quiet revolution going on, and it could totally change how thousands of companies run their entire digital backbone. And the wildest part? It all kicks off with one tiny, almost insignificant event.
To really get what's going on, we have to start small. Because just like this quote says, sometimes the biggest clues to a massive trend, they're not in the splashy headlines. They're buried in the details of something that seems totally minor.
And that's our big question for today. Why on earth are we talking about a small community meetup happening this spring? I mean, on the surface, it's nothing, right? But it's actually a signal. It's one little data point that tells a much, much bigger story about one of the giants of the tech world, VMware. Yeah, this is so much more than just another tech talk. Think of it as a symptom of a much larger movement. A growing wave of companies, they're not just thinking about leaving VMware anymore. They're actually doing it. And now they're starting to talk about how they're doing it, out in the open. And if you want to know why this little event is so telling, just look at the agenda. You can forget all the marketing fluff and buzzwords. This meetup is all about the practical, messy, nitty-gritty details that engineers actually care about. We're talking a real-world case study of moving from a standard VMware setup over to an open-source alternative called Proxmox. It's all about what worked, what broke, and the real lessons learned in the trenches.
So, the big question is, why now? What's going on? Well, the catalyst for this whole conversation, the thing that lit the fuse, it can all be traced back to one single event: Broadcom buying VMware. And this wasn't just some boring business deal. It was an absolute earthquake that sent shockwaves through the entire ecosystem.
See, for years, VMware was just the default. It was stable, predictable, and honestly, the cost and pain of switching was just way too high for most people to even consider it. But then the Broadcom acquisition happened, and that entire calculation changed, like overnight. All of a sudden, there were new licensing models, different product bundles, and for a lot of folks, some pretty major price hikes. And that forced a reaction. The question went from, maybe we'll migrate someday, to, oh crap, do we need a plan to migrate right now? And the impact of that was immediate. This was no longer just a technical problem for IT admins to solve. The financial risks, the strategic implications, they became so big that the conversation just shot straight up the ladder, from the server room all the way to the boardroom. So, with all these companies now actively looking for an escape hatch, one name keeps popping up again and again: Proxmox. Now, it's an open-source platform that's been around for years, but suddenly, it's getting some very serious attention from the enterprise world. Okay, so on the screen here, we can really see the two different approaches. On the left, you've got your typical VMware stack. You have separate pieces for everything. The virtualization software itself, that's the magic that lets you run lots of virtual servers on one physical box, plus separate tools for storage, separate tools for backups. But on the right, you've got the Proxmox approach, which basically integrates all of that stuff: virtualization, storage, backups, even these lightweight app containers into one single unified platform. Now, what this really means, and this is the key, is that you're not just swapping one piece of software for another. No, this is a fundamental change in architecture. When you collapse all those layers into one, you can potentially make management way simpler, and you completely change how your entire system handles data and growth. It's like moving from a centralized storage model, think of it as one giant central library where all the books are, to a much more flexible distributed one, where the books are spread out across many smaller, interconnected spots. But of course, making a switch like that is way, way easier said than done. So let's talk about the reality of it, because this is where all the fear and the real-world challenges pop up. This isn't as simple as just clicking install on some new software.
If you're a system administrator, there are basically three big things keeping you up at night. First, how in the world do you move the applications that your business relies on every single day without causing some catastrophic outage? Second, how do you even begin to redesign your entire storage system, moving from a centralized SAN, which is this dedicated high-speed network just for storage, to a totally different distributed model? And third, how do you handle all the new day-to-day operational duties that come with that?
And this quote just absolutely nails the feeling. On one hand, you get this incredible amount of control over your own infrastructure, which is totally empowering. But on the other hand, you also inherit way more responsibility for making sure it's designed right and stay stable, which, yeah, can be slightly terrifying.
But look, this is not a one-sided story. Not at all. There is a very healthy dose of skepticism out there, and for some really good reasons. Not everyone is convinced that just ripping and replacing everything is the right call for every single company.
First, you've got the skeptics, and their argument is simple. VMware's ecosystem is, without a doubt, the most mature and battle-tested out there. We're talking about decades of refinement. Features like vMotion, which lets you move a running virtual machine from one server to another with literally zero downtime, and its massive network of partners, that stuff is incredibly solid. To just walk away from that, that introduces a lot of risk.
Then you have the pragmatists. For them, it's not about which platform is better. Their view is that a big migration like this is only a good idea if you have a really strong engineering team that's already deep into open source tools and understands these complex distributed systems. If you don't have that expertise in-house, you could be setting yourself up for a world of operational pain.
And that brings us to a third strategy that's getting super popular, the hybrid approach. Instead of this massive all-or-nothing migration, these companies are moving some of their less critical stuff over to an alternative to save money, but they're keeping their most important can't-fail systems on the proven VMware platform. It's a really smart way to de-risk the whole process and kind of get the best of both worlds.
So let's be really clear here. What we're seeing is not some single massive exodus away from VMware. It's not like everyone is running for the same door. What's actually happening is the industry it's branching out into a bunch of different directions, and this conversation is really just getting started.
And the thing that's driving all of this, the engine behind this branching, is how people are sharing knowledge. It's shifting away from those polished, vendor-run conferences and toward raw, unfiltered community sharing. We're talking about engineers talking directly to other engineers in forums and meetups, sharing what actually works and, just as important, what totally breaks.
And that's exactly where we are today. No, a full-scale migration isn't happening for everyone. But that era of VMware's unquestioned dominance, that's over. More teams are experimenting, more companies are spinning up little pilot projects, and more tough questions are being asked now than ever before. So while a tiny meetup in Belgium might seem like no big deal, it's actually one of those early signals of a much bigger change. The industry isn't marching down a single road anymore. It's come to a massive fork. The only question now is, which of these new branches will grow, and where are they going to lead us next?